Hi, this is Paul. I'm a little bit overdue with my newsletter lessons. I figured I'd give you a video this time around. This is going to be the first part on a series for lead guitar improvisation. I'm going to do a series of videos on this topic. What you're going to get out of this basically is hopefully it will give you a lot of different ideas for lead guitar improvisation, creating your own solos on the fly. You know, it should help you with your creativity. A lot of people say that creativity can't be taught, but you know, there are definitely certain things you can do to increase your creativity, improve your ability to be able to improvise and stuff. So that's what this series is all about. So this is lesson 1 on improvisation. A lot of it's going to be things for you to think about, but again, in the end, this is going to help you as a lead guitar player, as a creative musician, to be able to, you know, make your own solos, have a little more spontaneity and a little more variety in what you're doing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the concept of improvisation. Now, most of your favorite players, when you see them playing lead, you know, it seems like they just never run out of ideas, and they can just keep going and going and going, and you're wondering where all this stuff is coming from. Well, first off, let me start out by saying that a lot of improvisation is actually not 100% improvised. Maybe for the jazz guys and stuff, but for the rock and metal guys, a lot of times it's not 100% improvised. It's a combination of memorized licks combined with, you know, different patterns and things like that that they may already know. And actually, jazz guys, you know, some jazz guys do learn licks and stuff like that too. So keep that in mind when you're improvising. It's not always just this wellspring of spontaneous creation. A lot of times you'll be just digging into patterns that you already know. It's combining those patterns together in different ways that's actually going to get you a lot more mileage out of what you know. So let's talk about a concept I call the bag. It's kind of a weird name. I like weird names, but you need to have your own bag too. The bag is basically just this thing that you have with all your different ideas in it. So let's say you got this bag and it's very small, so you only have a couple different ideas. Those are the things that you would draw on when you're improvising. You want to have as big of a bag as possible. And in this bag you would have sequences that you've memorized, your scale patterns, which you should know like the back of your hand, arpeggios you may know, different licks. Now the more familiar you are with the different things that you have in this bag, the easier it is for you to just pull them out and use them as you're improvising. If you're playing over a particular backing track or something and you're trying to figure out, you know, well, what's the scale that goes with this, things like that, that's going to, you know, reduce your reaction time. The more familiar you are with all these things, the more deeply you know these concepts, the easier it is going to be for you to just go ahead and use them when you want to. If there's something you haven't practiced in a while, you know, then you go to try to use it in your improvisation, you're going to stumble, or you're going to hesitate, or you're going to have to think about it too long. Maybe the moment's gone. I mean, it's cool to leave breaks and stuff like that in your phrases, and good phrasing, I think, is, you know, would be a bunch of small sentences and stuff like that. But you still want to have a good, comfortable grasp on the different concepts and things that you've learned. So how do we make things so that they're easier for us to pull out of the bag as we're improvising? Well, you want to take everything that you've learned, whether you've learned it from me, or whether you've learned it from another source, from your own guitar teacher, or online, or wherever. You want to take it and you want to actually practice these things in multiple keys. You want to, you know, experiment with ideas, take things and turn them around and twist them. You've probably seen the lesson I did on 3-note sequences where, you know, here's a common forward, I call it the common forward 3-note sequence. You know, and you could take an idea like that, like I did in that 3-note sequence lesson, and turn it around. You know, so don't be afraid to take things that you've learned, turn them upside down, twist them around, apply them to different things. You know, we didn't take that pattern and we didn't play it with any modals, modal scales. You know, for example, A natural minor, we could have taken that 3-note sequence. You know, so you want to take anything you learn, apply it to as many different things as you can. Continue to review the things that you've learned and apply them in different ways so that they're always right there. You have instant access to them. You don't want to have to think you don't want to have to think too long to be able to access the things that you already know. If you learn a lick or an idea or a concept and you immediately forget it, it's gone. You wasted your time, right? So you want to have these things so that they're always there, always accessible for you to be able to do them whenever you want to. So the final thing I'd like to discuss today is something I read in a magazine actually a couple years ago. One of my favorite guitar players is German guitarist Michael Schenker, and he's really noted for being a great melodic soloist, and I admire guys like that a lot. You know, ripping and playing fast and stuff is all cool too, but I like guys that kind of play melodies. So one of the things I read in this interview with Michael, he said that rather than just practicing licks, which I still recommend you practice licks and stuff too, especially if you're starting out, what he'll do when he's practicing the guitar is he'll practice playing melodies. And I actually kind of took that to heart and made it a big part of my style. And I've gotten a lot of compliments, you know, about how melodic my playing is and stuff like that. So, you know, practice your sequences, practice your licks, memorize your scales. But when you're at home and you're practicing also, dedicate a little bit of your practice time to creating melodies. So if I was playing guitar and I'm playing a solo over something that's an A minor, you know, I might do something like, you know, and I would play a melody like that actually as part of a solo. It wouldn't just be a little melodic statement. And if you mess around and you come up with these different melodies, you know, which you can create just by moving through your scales within the key, you know, practice it with a backing track, you'll come up with things that sound good, or without a backing track even, just on your own. And gradually you'll get to where you'll think like that. So whenever I'm improvising or soloing, I'm always looking to create some kind of melody. So I'll have a balance of things. I'll have little sections where I'm running sequences and, you know, and arpeggios and whatever, and using the things that I have in my bag. And then also within that bag, I'll have different melodies, or I'll even create melodies on the spot just by moving my way through the scales and stuff. So the more you practice this kind of thing, the easier it becomes for you to be able to just do it, you know, right on the spot. And it sounds great. It's a lot of fun, and it's pretty easy to do. I hope you find this first lesson on rock lead guitar improvisation to be helpful. There's a couple great resources out there for you too on this topic. I've done the notation on a couple books by my friend Nick Layton in partnership with Tom Hess. If you look on the screen below, you'll see that the URL address on Tom Hess's website where you can grab these books. They're really great resources for improving your lead guitar phrasing and your improvisational skills. You know, if you've enjoyed this lesson and you'd like to get first dibs on these lessons and not wait until they're out on YouTube, just sign up for my newsletter. The address is right there below, paultutteroff.com. Scroll down the page, you'll see the little link for the newsletter. Just sign up. No spam, no bull crap, just good quality lessons to help you become a better guitar player. Thanks a lot for your interest, and until next month, take care.